I was feeling bad, real bad.
Inside this small 20-bed hospital in rural Alabama, 65-year-old Leroy Walker found himself in a bed, connected to an IV pump. Walker was there for shortness of breath. At some point, his IV started beeping. Our partners at KFF Health News were there.
I wonder, where's these people at? Where are they? What are they doing? Playing dominoes or something?
And minutes passed before anyone came to check on the sound.
But they did came and see about me. And I was glad to see them, of course.
The hospital's internet connection is too slow to support a modern monitoring system that would instantly alert nurses at their stations. Instead, they have to rely on the sound carrying through the halls, leaving patients waiting.
Yeah, I'm a country boy. Yeah, I used to live, well, I've been living all over the place. I was born and raised in Hornstein, Alabama. And then I moved to Birmingham. I got married. I won't go into that, but you know. I used to drive trucks.
For years, Walker traveled the country as a truck driver until one day his career took a halt. While driving in Iowa, his body broke down.
They put me on the Greyhound, sent me back home because they didn't want nobody driving with bad kidneys.
Instead of traversing the country, he now battles kidney failure in Utah, Alabama. Where he spends 3 days a week at a dialysis clinic, a treatment necessary to remove the toxins from his blood.
The biggest problem I have with dialysis is the needles. Well, of course, they had to put do operations on me and stuff. They put the machine in you and stuff like that. Now, you know, they done been in his arm so much. But the biggest problem is the needles. Those are big old things, man.
How do you feel afterwards? Do you typically feel tired, weary?
Well, sometimes I get off the machine. I feel like I can run the marathon.
And some days, just getting out of bed feels impossible.
No, my kidneys done quit. I do dialysis. I have no transportation. People don't forgot about me, feel like it. You know, they don't want to fool no little mess like me. That's what I feel like. He ain't got no kidneys. He ain't hitting on nothing. We just forget about him. Felt thrown away, you know. And see, I ain't got y'all here for me to cry, but it really makes me feel bad. I feel like I've been picked out to be picked on. I really do.
But Walker is not alone. According to CDC data, many people in Greene County, Alabama, where Walker lives, are affected by serious medical conditions. The county ranks near the top for rates of stroke, obesity, and high blood pressure. And the county's only hospital sits in a technological dead zone, severely limiting its ability to provide timely care. It's a problem KFF Health News found leaves rural hospitals and their patients at a disadvantage, making them lag far behind the rest of the country when it comes to accessing new technology like electronic health records, high-tech wireless equipment, and telehealth.
For me to be living right here, and if I get real sick, I got to go to Birmingham or Tuscaloosa, and you got a hospital right here. They need technology, you know, to do what the rest of the hospitals are doing.
A former member of the Technology Advisory Committee for the Department of Health and Human Services says hospitals need speeds of at least 1,000 megabits per second to support electronic health records and telehealth. At the hospital,
do they need my computer?
In an attempt to run a speed test, it took 13 seconds just for the internet browser to pop up. The results showed 93.3 megabits per second, less than 10% of the recommendation.
You know, you can't get a lot of money putting broadband in a rural area because there's not as much business, there's not that many hospitals, there's not that many homes, so we're the ones that suffer.
Marcia Pugh, CEO of the Greene County Health System. For years, Pugh says the hospital has waited for grants and federal funding to bring reliable high-speed internet to the hospital, a hospital where nurses are still forced to use paper charts due to the sluggish system.
Well, it's frustrating because you end up doing part of it in the computer, part of it on the paper chart, and you're juggling back and forth between the two.
Greene is one of more than 200 counties with some of the worst access to reliable internet and healthcare provider shortages. Of those counties, 123 do not even have a hospital, a KFF analysis found. Telehealth, experts have indicated, is one way rural health providers can save money by reducing staff costs and keeping patients in their system rather than transferring them out. In a report published in the National Institutes of Health, chief financial officers from rural hospitals identified several barriers preventing telehealth from becoming profitable. One key factor was inadequate broadband access.
What do you think the solution is to improve healthcare and telehealth in rural communities like Greene County?
Money. I think that money needs to be allocated to these rural facilities. We have a brand new hospital in Thomasville. Closed. It closed. Brand new. It was needed in the community. It provided a service to the community, and it closed. We had a hospital in Pickens County, and it closed. You know, something has to make an impact on these lawmakers, on people in D.C.
The 2021 Infrastructure and Jobs Act allocated $42 billion to states so they can expand broadband access. But sources tell KFF Health News that only a small percentage of the money has been spent just on the planning work. Nothing has been spent on deployment and construction. In a March Energy and Commerce Subcommittee hearing, Republicans argued that the Biden administration's broadband rollout has taken way too long.
It's been over 3 years since the IIJA became law, and we're still waiting for the first home to be connected using these funds. I think we should understand how this happened.
Democrats pushed back, saying the 4-year plan needs to run its course and that states have already taken important measures to bring broadband to rural communities.
These changes will drive up costs for consumers while driving down the quality of service.
While Congress goes back and forth over how to improve broadband access, rural hospitals continue to wait, putting lives like Walker's on the line.
But I don't let that stop me. I said, well, Lord, here I go. Finna go get these needles.
As he waits for change.
I'm gonna try to live and let live. God is on my side. I already know this. I ain't no doubt about that now.